Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. Liftoff.
What is up, guys? Hunter Klein here, bringing you this week's episode of Interplanetary Monkeys. We're back, we're grinding, we're getting through, we're making it happen. I hope everyone is doing well, getting through, enjoying life, battling if you're struggling, enjoying if you're on a high. This week, I almost forgot how stupid and silly humans are, until I saw a news article on Google titled "Courtney and Travis Use Serious Tongue During UFC 264 Makeout Session." And then it all came back. Then I got this surge, like this memory from the deepest core of my brain that humans are very dumb. We're very simple creatures. And it reminded me ultimately to not take myself too seriously. Okay? Not to say that we're each unique and beautiful and life is awesome. I don't want to ruin anybody's human experience, but I will tell you that we're not that good, friends. Okay, we're not that good. Courtney and Travis use serious tongue during UFC 264 makeout session. If you click on these articles, you need to get your life together. I am sorry. You know it. I know it. We all know it. What are we doing, family? I cannot believe people are writing articles like that. And I cannot believe people are reading these articles. I am just absolutely mind blown that there is a demand for this type of information. That it was on the front page of my Google entertainment page. How ridiculous. Who is the poor soul that is writing these articles? Okay, I'm going to stop bashing this, but I had to mention this, okay? We need to stay away from news articles like this, and we need to stop writing things like, let's spend our time a little more efficiently. How about it? Okay, we'll end it there. But these are just questionable, okay? The people that are reading this and writing this, I just can't help but assume that they're not in the best spot when it comes to life. Okay? Because if you're concerned about how much tongue is being used in celebrity makeout sessions, I'm assuming your love life, your social life, your personal life is really not exciting whatsoever. Get some hobbies. Okay? Explore some things. See what you like, see what you enjoy, try some new things out, get some hobbies, and let's stay away from all this junk, okay? I figured out this morning, before recording the podcast, that it is illegal. There's a law against minors playing video games in China between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. All right? So it would be one thing if this was like a law that they put in and we're like, yeah. Because it obviously be hard to enforce. We just want young kids to go to bed early and not be playing games late in the night. Cool. Parents, do what you will with that. But they take it a step further. It's very serious, okay? And to exemplify how serious China is taking this law, this mandate, they will now have a facial recognition software called Midnight Patrol. Yes, a very intimidating name for a very intimidating software. A facial recognition software called Midnight Patrol that will scan the face of whoever is playing the video game past 10 p.m. Okay, and if it's a kid, game shuts off. How crazy is this? Can you imagine if the U.S. government tried to do something like that here? Can you imagine the uproar for something so simple? Apparently in China, preventing video game addiction is a huge target for the government. huge target, if that wasn't obvious already, by the fact that they are forcing facial recognition softwares, employing laws. I think this is absolutely ridiculous, guys. I'm very thankful for the nation that we live in and the freedom that we have. Okay? Yeah, video games can drop productivity. They ruin some people's lives. Awesome. So do a lot of different activities, substances, and hobbies. Okay? Let people be losers if they want to. Let people live their lives. Hey, this is going to be a little more extreme. But there's something called natural selection, guys, okay? The people who figure it out move on, succeed, and reproduce a majority of the time, okay? The people who don't figure it out, the people that can adapt, will not succeed, will not get money, and will have, well, let's drop the reproduction argument, okay? Let's just talk about it from a success and wealth and happiness point of view, okay? If they want to ruin their lives playing video games, let them do it. All right? Let them do it. Because there are plenty of people who can take video games, plenty of kids that can play video games past 10 p.m. and still live successful lives. Still be successful in the classroom. Still get into that med school they've always wanted. The idea that China is so hyper focused on the idea that all their citizens need to be extremely efficient and the best at what they do, and we need to grow and we need to learn and we need to invent, that they are just sticking their hands into lives this deep is very, very interesting to me. I think it's too much, and I think it's a little bit overwhelming. Ultimately, reading this article, I just got a very, very deep appreciation for the US. Despite all the problems and all the clickbait and negative news articles that we constantly see about where we live, it's ultimately a beautiful place. And I think it's important to remember that. Even with little things like this. Yeah, video games past 10 p.m., not that big of a deal. But I'm not personally very familiar with the way that the Chinese government runs their country, but I'm assuming that this theme right here probably cascades through a lot of different areas. A lot of the different layers of how these people, Chinese people, live in their country. So again, I'm very, very thankful. Okay, this is rough. I don't agree with it. You know, I used to be a pretty hardcore gamer, somewhat game now, but it's mainly because, well, I have nothing better to do with my life, and I'm not a big partier. It keeps me busy. It's an escape. But I don't agree. I don't agree, especially in 2021, okay? I am telling you guys right now, and I've been talking about it for years, the virtual space is only growing and becoming more relevant each year. More and more people are getting computers, getting connected, creating online profiles, creating virtual versions of themselves, essentially. And as video games become more accessible, as the line between video games and entertainment starts to blur, we're talking about virtual reality. We're talking about interactive spaces where people can meet, and these virtual universes are created. It's only going to become more relevant. Okay? Again, so much of our lives is already in the virtual world. Okay? We have ourselves, our physical person, and we have our virtual person. Our virtual person being our Facebook profile, our Instagram profile, all the information we store in virtual spaces on our computers, in document files, all of this stuff. Okay? And it's only increasing as we integrate more with technology, whether it be Elon Musk's Neuralink or some Google lenses that display virtual UI over your perspective of the world. The idea that we want to try to get such a grasp on how people interact with the virtual space is very, very dangerous, I think. And my point of going into this, I guess this hole right here, is that I think it's only going to increase, right? Governments that take control, that are trying to get a grasp on how humans interact with the virtual world, is very, very dangerous because it has huge implications for the future. Okay? Yes, this is simply limiting how kids can interact with a video game for a couple hours in the evening. But this human game, this human virtual relationship that they're trying to control here, again, is only growing. Okay? And then all of a sudden now, you're limiting the ability of these kids to go and hang out with people in virtual worlds, have parties in virtual worlds. I know this sounds crazy, but this is where things are going, and it's already happening. It's very niche and kind of looked upon in a negative way right now. But there will be a day where we put on virtual reality goggles and go and hang out with friends. Absolutely. I almost guarantee it. Overall, it's absolutely psychotic from a very surface level of how the Chinese government has such a hard control on their citizens. I know this probably says a lot about my political views, but I don't know, nor do I care. This is just my perspective on this individualized case. Okay? That's really it. On to the next. This is your bi-yearly reminder that MacBook Pros are the biggest technology scam on earth, guys. Okay? Overpriced products for underperforming technology. It's simply it. Okay? Because the UI or how the screen looks is awesome to you, or you're familiar with it, or it's the computer that you used when you were in elementary school. Get it out, guys. Okay, I spent $2,000 when I went to college on a MacBook Pro, and it was the biggest waste of money ever. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It lasted me 4 or 5 years. Great. But I could have bought a laptop that was just as good for $600 and had $1,300 in the bank sitting. I will never, ever, ever buy a MacBook Pro again. And there is something, yeah, same. I'll branch this out and say same for Apple's iPhone. Okay, the iPhone is way overpriced for the product that you get because the UI is friendly and there's this cultural norm that blue messages is cool. I want to get an iPhone so people can see when they read my message, or I can see when they read it, or I can get a nice little cloud when people are typing, which Android has recently added, by the way. I just don't get it, guys. Not only is these Apple products way overpriced for what they offer, but the people that have Apple products defend the brand to their death. It's so crazy. Like, people, why is it that people take it, like, hold on to what type of phone brand they have so personally? Again, are our lives that shallow and boring that we are going to make personal comment, or we're going to get personally offended if someone says iPhone's bad? Why does everyone with an Apple iPhone defend the product like they were personally on the product design team? Who cares? Who cares? Yeah, I have a Droid. I think Google Pixel's the best phone in the world. I use Google for the majority of my life. It integrates well with where I store my information, how I work. Why the hell does that matter to you? Why is it such a big... I feel so great when I text someone and they're like, oh my gosh, you don't have blue messages? I love it so much. Because it just rattles them, I guess. I don't understand. It's just comical to me how serious of an event it is. Okay? I feel like just an incognito dude. Very mysterious, right? You never know when I'm reading your text. You never know when I'm typing to you. Boom, out of nowhere, message. Boom, out of nowhere, message. I just don't get it again. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And again, I think it's about efficiency for me. I love the Google Pixel. I think it's the greatest phone on the earth, and I'm going to keep buying it until, I don't know. We'll see. When I was younger, I used to switch phone. Every time I got a new phone, I'd switch. So iPhone, back to Droid, back to iPhone. So I have tried both. I've been on both sides of the fence. And to be honest with you, I don't really use my phone that much, so it doesn't really matter to me whatsoever. But the Google Pixel's awesome. It has a little fingerprint scanner on the back, and it just makes my life easier. And I'm so used to it now that I probably won't switch it up. Okay. So if you have an iPhone, awesome. If you have a Droid, awesome. No one cares. It doesn't matter what software you have. You have no stake in the company. If you do, it's a very small percentile. Chill out, dude. Chill out. Blue messages aren't that important. And who cares if someone doesn't like iPhones? We need to pull back on this. We absolutely need to pull back on this. Okay. One other thing that came up this week is I saw a bunch of people got stuck on a cruise ship in Kentucky. Okay, nothing too serious. Lives weren't at danger. I think they just grounded. Right, the bottom of the ship hit some ground, got stuck in a shallow area of the water, and they were stuck. Everyone's been evacuated. Everyone's safe. Nothing bad happened. But I was really surprised to see that people still go on cruise ships in 2021. Okay? If you go on cruise ships for vacation in our current year, you are a special kind of person. I will go as far to say that people that go on cruise ships are the exact same people that spend thousands of dollars on fireworks. This is the same exact demographic, okay? People that go on cruise ships are the people that are basking out in the sun using their gut as a cup holder, as a beer holder. Okay? I think that it is the laziest way to vacation, and it says enormous amounts of information about a person. Why the hell would you go onto a cruise ship? I don't even want to use the term overpriced. It's just BS. You can get a much greater experience going to a much more exotic location of Earth for the same amount of price with much more freedom. Okay? Rent a boat in Mexico and you can be out on the water. I don't understand the appeal of cruise ships, and I cannot believe they still exist. Okay? I understand in 1960 cruise ships are pretty cool. Right? Cruise ships are pretty cool, but we have computers now. You can find a hotel in Belize for like $60 a night. You get a plane ticket for like $400. Man, I have no idea, but still. Cruises are a joke, guys. If you're thinking about going on a cruise, we need to reevaluate what's going on. Okay, I'm being really critical this week, and I'm not really sure why. But I strongly stand behind this cruise ship thing, okay? It takes a special kind of person to go out there. So I'm not going to say that I'm happy that their ship grounded, but don't go on cruises, guys. Don't go on cruises. Let's get a little serious here, okay? Obviously, life's been interesting for me recently. And as a blanket statement, I'm just currently looking for more, right? That goes without being said. Every week we talk about it. We talk about where we're at, where we're going. I'm in my early 20s, kind of in that grindy stage. But I am truly looking for more right now, and it's a very overwhelming feeling. Like I need to do something. Like I'm not where I want to be. Like I'm not in the best spot. Okay? I have a lot of aspiration, dreams, destinations that I would like to progress towards at the moment. And ultimately, this is the goal because I believe they would remove the problems and stresses that are most present in my life. And I feel the ultimate drive behind all of this is that I feel if I just achieve these few things, check these few boxes, just get rid of these few problems, my life will be perfect. And if not perfect, it would be monumentally more enjoyable. But in the back of my mind, I know that there will always be these pestering problems. There will always be that one thing that I could fix that would make me happy, that would fix it all. Oh, I just need this taken care of. Oh, I just need money. If I had $20,000, I would be happy as hell. If I just had a new car, that's what it used to be. If I just had a new car, God, everything would be perfect. And there's always that thing. There's always that thing. And I am worried, not worried, but I'm almost positive and kind of apprehensive about the fact that there always will be. Okay? That there will always be that one thing I need to fix to be happy. And I feel this way, and I almost know this. I can say this confidently because I see it in extremely wealthy people with mental health issues. I see it with successful business owners with social issues and family issues. And I see it with extremely healthy people with family issues, right? Like having family members that are hurting. Okay, my point here is that there's always something. No matter who you are, no matter how good of a spot you may think someone is in, there's always that main worry on their mind. There's always that one thing that's kind of beating them up. Okay, and I can't say this from experience personally, but it seems to be what I'm observing in the world. Okay, and what this tells me is that this idea I have that if I just get rid of these few problems, everything will be fixed is wrong. It won't work. That is what I have observed and heard from other humans in much better spots than me, that have much more wealth, that have much more stability in their family, that have much better social structures. Even these people that live lives that seem to cure all of my ailments, it doesn't seem that they're living any better of a life than me. Okay? And even though I constantly hear these stories that scream to me, there will always be something. Be happy with what you have. There will always be something. My brain does not care, and this is the biggest problem in my life right now. My brain ignores me and continues to scream, we need more money. We need to progress further in our career. We need to make it in this and make it in this, and we need to find success in that. And then, Hunter, we will finally be at peace. Okay? I know it. I constantly trying to reinforce it. I constantly read it, recognize patterns in people, and see that the importance is to be happy with where you're at. Because there will always be issues. There will always be negatives. There will always be that one thing. But my brain does not listen, guys. My brain does not listen. Not only does it not listen, but we push crazily forward. We're always searching. We make huge sacrifices in our lives to fix those few issues because our brain believes that it will fix it all. Almost willing to go to extreme measures to try to fix these few issues. And it's the biggest battle in my life right now. I don't really know what to do about it. Okay, even it's like talking right here. Okay, I can feel the apprehension in my brain as I say these things. Okay, my brain believes that if I just had a little bit of money, my life would be perfect. I feel it right now. And this is going to get floaty, but it's so odd because I know it won't, or I've heard it won't. I shouldn't say I know, I've heard it won't. It's one of those things where I think I have to see it or feel it to believe it, guys. Okay. Again, this falls back to that always wanting more mindset, I guess, right? Always trying to progress in the game of life. And it adds more stake, it adds more passion, it adds more working hard. But as a result, we're not very appreciative of where we're at and what we have. Okay. Although it is pretty good. Although we can play video games past 10 p.m. without some facial recognition software scanning us and shutting down our phone. Although we do have a roof over our head and working internet and air conditioning. This idea of relativity. That wherever you're at in life, whatever you're going through, your spectrum of happiness, joy, good, bad, dark, light always balances out. And you'll experience highs and you will experience lows no matter where you're at, no matter how much money you have, no matter how good your job is. There's no such thing as a life that's always in the joy part of the spectrum. Okay, no matter where you're at, no matter what you're experiencing, no matter how good, bad life is, there's a balance. The roller coaster of life. And as good as it feels to talk about this stuff, and as maybe woke as this might sound, my monkey brain doesn't really employ these ideas, doesn't hold these ideas in the forefront of my brain. Okay? I fall victim to a lot of the things I'm saying right now, even though I know very well that they exist. Even though I know very well, we've talked about it for hours and hours about the duality of the mind, the duality of life, the balance, the relativity of joy and sadness. I still have this monkey brain that just simply wants more money. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy. Now, obviously, money's not that big of a deal right now. And do I really need money? No. There's not, I mean, I'm fine at the moment. I'm fine. Really, I guess what I want in life out of success in my passions, success in the podcast, uh, financial success, financial freedom, I should say, is that I just want to create. Okay, that is the ultimate job for me. If I could just on the daily create content, create the podcast, talk to people, bring like-minded individuals together, have a stream where people tune in, jump in, like, what's up, Hunter? I'm just chilling, playing a random game online. Just finished recording the podcast. How you guys doing? If I could live a life like this, where I can just get paid to be myself, I think that's the ultimate goal. And if I can get financial stability, if I can find success in these passions like the podcast, like something like a stream, then that could ultimately come true. And I think that's why my drive is so strong, why the fire burns so bright. Because I'm not exactly happy with where I'm at, and I have somewhere where I need to get, and there are some resources that I need to collect to make that reality a possibility. So that is our number one focus in life right now. The job I'm working here in Austin is a bit blah. It's a grind. We're getting through. I enjoy the work. I'm passionate about it. But some aspects of it really just don't resonate well with how I live my life and how I am as a person. But we're in the early 20s. Grind. Man up, they say. Get through it. You're here for experience. All right. So that's kind of where we're at in life right now. This is by far the roughest year or roughest couple months that I've lived on planet Earth. Okay? Socially, mental health wise, I'm fine. And I'm used to this. And I'm good at this. Of kind of battling by myself. Okay? So I don't have any issues. I don't need anybody to reach out in the DMs and worry about me. But I will say, if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, life is not good at the moment. And that's okay. That's absolutely okay. And I find positives in it. I will come out at the other end very appreciative of my next position. If I find success in a passion, it will be that much more beautiful. Because it will essentially be pulling me out of a, I wouldn't say dark, but very dim place. Okay? And one of the main reasons I bring this up is because a lot of people don't like to admit. I think it is okay to admit when you're not happy with what's going on. Ask somebody how their job's going. It's all right. Can't complain. Maybe end it there. But I am not happy with where I'm at in life right now. And we're doing some things, we're adjusting some things to try to fix it. And ultimately, we have our next steps in mind. We're kind of waiting for the clock to tick, to be honest with you guys. I'm waiting for the days to pass, waiting for the months to pass, so I can get a notch on my resume and find the next step. And in the background, we're pursuing our passions and trying to find somewhere where we can get out. Okay? And that's where life is for me right now. Again, it's a small point of a very small section of time and a very large journey for myself. But I strongly believe that life is too short. Life is too short to be waking up day to day, not excited to accomplish something, to attend something, to go somewhere. Okay, and I know that's like, oh, that's so new generation of you, Hunter. That's, what do they call it? What do they call it? Entitled of you. That's so entitled of you. No, I don't think it is. Okay, I think I have this necessary skills and background and passion and drive to live a life, to pursue a life where I wake up excited. Okay, so that's why the demand is so high, and that's where we're going. So the biggest takeaway, I guess, is if you're in a similar boat than me, similar boat to me, first step is admittance. Right? I sound like a physical or a mental therapist right now, or a psychologist. If you're not in a good spot, all right, we're not in a good spot. We admit it to ourselves. Fantastic. Now, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are the steps that we have to get out of it? And let's make it happen. Okay. I can't imagine, I know it's true, but I can't imagine sitting in this space for longer than 6 months to 12 months. I can't imagine for years and years on end waking up for a job you don't enjoy. Life's too short. There's too many options. There's too many ways to make it for that to even be a viable option. And one of the greatest things for me in the background that's holding me together, to be honest with you guys, is my personal fitness. I'm getting larger. I'm more proud of my body and my health than I ever have been in my entire life. So while my career might be stagnant and be rough and suck some days and may grind me down some days and may pull everything out of me some days, at the end of the day, I'm looking in the mirror very happy with what we're doing with our body. Our mind and our body are increasing exponentially. And I can say day to day that I'm getting better. Okay, I really, really can. And that's been a huge anchor for me. That's been a very big anchor for me. We're improving one avenue of our life we're doing extremely, extremely well in, and I'm really holding on to that right now. So a lot of my reward system right now in life is through the podcast, through you guys reaching out, and in my personal fitness journey. Okay, career-wise, I'm not really getting it. Socially, I'm not really getting it, but we're working on it, okay? And again, the goal, I want to get back to Arizona in the next year, okay? We came to Texas in April. By next April, I want to be in Arizona. I want to be under that sun again because goddamn do I miss it, all right? All right. Takeaways from today. We got a little deep. It was kind of all over the place. I was a little harsh at the beginning, but I feel like this week is a breath of fresh air. Okay, it feels a little different than our last episodes. We brought a little more passion to the table. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope if you're going through a rough time, if you're going through something rough at work, that it is at least it's worth it. Right? You're going through a rough spot because you need to get to this place. Okay? And I hope that if you're in a rough spot, you're trying to get out. If you're not trying to get out, you're actively exploring ways to get out. Pursuing passions, finding joy in everyday life, waking up with a purpose. Because that is the greatest life. That is the greatest life. I remember the days, especially when I was at the end of my college career in graduate school, waking up excited about my day. Not necessarily excited, but not dreading it. Not too bummed out. Not really stressed out, just kind of meh. And in those moments, I took it for granted, okay? So we're trying to get back there. Life's hard, but we battle through. And there's many joys in and yeah, at the end of the day, guys, I'm going to end this right here. I'm ranting too much. We're getting a little sad. Ultimately, what I'm going through right now is a low. We're on the roller coaster of life. It is a low, but life is relative. And the next time I get a job that I truly enjoy, or if I find success in the podcast or a YouTube channel or a Twitch stream, That success will be so much greater knowing how hard I grind in my early 20s, how shitty life got some of these weeks. Okay? So it's not all bad. It's not all bad, and there's really no option but to push through. That's ultimately it. There is no other option but to keep moving forward. So is it really that bad? It doesn't really matter. Because regardless if it's good or bad, we push forward. All right? All righty. We're going to end it there, guys. Weird episode. Thank you all for reaching out, talking this week. The past couple weeks have been great. A lot of feedback from the community, people DMing me, talking to me in person. A lot of joy. A lot of people listening, relating, getting info, getting inspiration from the pod. And that's really what it's all about here, man. We want to communicate. We want to share our human experience. It's wild. It's wild. And we are on a mud ball flying through a vast and empty universe. Okay? Keep that in mind. Don't take yourself too seriously. Make sure you have fun. Make sure you smile and shine on family. All right? All righty. That's it for this week's episode of Interplanetary Monkeys. This is Hunter Klein, and you'll hear from me next week. Peace, peace.